Bitcoin's really making that push right now to 20,000. It would not surprise me if we see Bitcoin hit 20,000 by the end of this weekend. Now, there's a lot of theories behind what is going on, and I'm going to tell you what, there is someone who shared a theory, shared a reason why the price of Bitcoin is going up that I actually have to say, even though many people in our community do not like him, they do not like him, his theory makes the most sense right now, and I need to share that with you in today's video. And also today, we're going to talk about a DeFi gem. It's something that has the tech, it has the team, it has all the necessary ingredients to brew into something super sexy. But before we tackle all that, make sure you smash subscribe, hit the like button, all right, guys? You know how YouTube feels about this kind of content. There is no doubt right now that Bitcoin hodlers are like on cloud nine. There's no doubt that Bitcoin is more than likely going to break its previous all-time highs in the next couple of days. I saw this little correction over here. It did not last long. Now, this is a bit too vertical for my liking. Okay, I'm telling you right now that if you just look at the line and look at how the price of Bitcoin is moving, that is a bit too vertical for my liking. It's just too much of a straight line. I know many of you guys may argue this, but if you look at history, anytime Bitcoin has made this kind of rapid growth, this kind of rapid price gain, okay, it has always fallen. It's the times that Bitcoin makes those slow and steady, building foundations below itself kind of growth that it sustains itself, and the corrections are nowhere near as exaggerated as they are whenever you have this kind of vertical growth. So this is about the only thing that has me concerned. Other than that, I do see some potential for some serious money to be made. Speaking of serious money, I tell you what, this is always a good sign. This is, to me, like, it's adoption, okay? It's not like the best form of adoption, but it's a form of adoption, and I'll take it. I'll take anything that we can get when it comes to adoption and people saying, yeah, I want to embrace Bitcoin. I want Bitcoin. So players prefer cashing out in Bitcoin right now, according to an online poker giant. And he's saying that right now he's having to buy millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin a day to meet the demand of his exiting players. So people are cashing out their poker winnings, their online poker winnings, and going into Bitcoin. Now, I don't believe this is like the fuel behind the rally we're seeing right now. But what I have to say is when I see this kind of implementation, when I see this kind of adoption, and you know these poker players are not playing with little, $10, $20 at a time when they're cashing out. They're cashing out real money, thousands of dollars at a time, maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars at a time. And that, to me, I find that sexy. I really do. That's adoption. That is real world adoption right there. What I don't find as adoption is what's happening in the corporate world right now with Bitcoin. Corporate Bitcoin frenzy. Companies now hold $15.3 billion, guys, in BTC. That's that's 842,000 Bitcoin. That is insane. $15.3 billion held by corporations. This really troubles me because that's not real adoption, okay? Corporations, banks, institutions, they're not in the business for nostalgia. They're not in the business because of sentimental value. They're in the business to make money, right? They obviously can't take their Bitcoin and go buy a yacht. They can't take their Bitcoin and go buy a freaking airplane. They can't take your Bitcoin and go buy a mansion. At some point, these guys are going to cash out that Bitcoin. At some point, they're going to pull profits. At some point, we are going to feel those effects. But aside from that, something that really bothers me about this that nobody ever freaking talks about is not only are they buying up as much available Bitcoin as they can, they're buying up hash power. If you go back to the 70s when we left the gold standard, during that time period, up until the 70s and back, gold ownership by the average Joe was a normal thing. Everybody could buy gold, even gold-backed bonds. So back up until the 70s, you used to get these notes, right? These gold-backed bonds that you can go and spend at the store because they're backed by gold. Gold was just a very common thing for every human being. It was a part of your life. When we left in the 70s, the gold standard, okay, when the gold standard was left and then we went to the trust system, the banking and trust system, the derivative market absolutely changed what gold was. The average person stopped owning gold. The average person stopped using gold as a currency or as a means of exchange. It stopped. What happened was these institutions went in there and bought up the available gold supply, and they also bought up the gold mines and then started selling gold products, derivative products, back to the very people who initially controlled gold. We're starting to see that same kind of thing happen right now with Bitcoin. And that is why when I see $15.3 billion worth of Bitcoin controlled by corporations and it's still growing on a weekly basis, and the amount of Bitcoin that they're buying on a weekly basis is more than any and all retailers combined. I see another 1970s happening, guys. I'm just saying. And you see, me saying that, this is where I feel a lot of people have gotten Jay Clayton, the SEC commissioner, wrong. Now, it's him that actually provided the most practical reason, in my opinion, why the price of Bitcoin right now is moving up. But here's something I want you guys to think about. Jay Clayton, I don't believe, was as anti-Bitcoin as everyone thought he was. I don't believe Jay Clayton was trying to take Bitcoin or the beauty of Bitcoin away from the little guy. I do actually believe that Jay Clayton was trying to protect the little guy. I actually believe that Jay Clayton was trying to put in countermeasures to prevent what happened in the 70s to the average Joe like you and I, to people today with Bitcoin. You get what I'm saying? So I don't think Jay Clayton was actually a bad guy. I don't think he was doing anything to actually hurt Bitcoin. I really feel that he was trying to put countermeasures in place to stop the big institutions from having so much ability to wreck the little guy. Now, according to a tweet that he said, his reason is, we determined that Bitcoin is not a security. It was much more a payment mechanism and store of value, says SEC Chairman Jay Clayton on Bitcoin. Our current payment mechanisms have inefficiencies. Those inefficiencies are the things that are driving the rise of Bitcoin. I think no matter where you stand on Bitcoin, everyone can agree with what he is saying there. There are so many inefficiencies with the current payment mechanisms. There are. And Bitcoin can provide a lot of solutions to those. But the thing about Bitcoin, and the thing that no one ever really embraces, the fact that, like credit cards and debit cards, I don't know if you remember what they were like in the 80s and 90s, but you didn't actually just swipe them in a machine and there was an automatic machine that actually read your card and made the transaction happen like that. You had carbon copies. You put your damn credit card in this machine and you did a carbon copy piece of paper, okay, and it took days before the transaction actually went through. It was a very slow, cumbersome process. Bitcoin is going through that slow, cumbersome process right now. I believe that Bitcoin is the ultimate payment mechanism and that we have to utilize it as a payment tool, all right, and go through the growing pains. Yes, I know it's slow. I know transactions can get expensive if everyone starts to use it, but there's second layer solutions that we can build on the network to fix those things. But that aside, I do feel like the inefficiencies of the current models, even though they are streamlined and they're fast, are bad enough that justify Bitcoin being used more. We need to talk about a small issue that I came across in our crypto space. Now, some of you may have or may not been following this. I was debating on doing an actual video on this whole fiasco, but have you guys seen the freaking shitstorm, childish, 5th grade bullshit drama from both sides here? Basically, you have two entities fighting over the ticker bond. And Trader Lenny said, it's always unfortunate to see one project slander another for something as silly as coincidental similarities. No matter which side of the story you're on, resorting to FUD and baseless accusations is just as a bad look for everyone involved. And I'm going to tell you what, if you go on the Discord, if you go on the freaking Twitter, if you go on the Telegram groups, the amount of childishness, the baby games, even as it went as far as the VCs involved in the freaking projects, playing bullshit childish games. This is just stupid. It's a stupid problem to have, people. It really is. It's that behavior is stupid. It's when these kind of moments pop out and get pointed out, and I see it's just embarrassing. It's embarrassing for the entire community to act this way. We look like a bunch of children. We do. We look like a bunch of freaking ignorant, uneducated, silly children, guys. I can't stand the drama that can come and unfold out of our space. I can't stand how quick we are in this community to jump towards negativity. It's as if everyone is so unhappy in the crypto space that they thrive off of negativity. They thrive off of predatory behavior. They thrive off the opportunity to go and kick somebody in the teeth and be part of drama. It makes me nuts. It really does. But I'm just going to share this with you guys just because I know maybe some of you guys are caught in the middle of this. Maybe some of you guys aren't. But this kind of behavior, guys, has got to stop. Okay, so let's move on to something a lot sexier than the previous two topics. Now, I know Bitcoin is always sexy, but Bitcoin is basically it's bank coin is what it's heading to right now with how much of it is being bought up by institutions, okay? The thing that still belongs to the people is DeFi. DeFi, and I know a lot of people think it's scammy, but I'm sorry, it's not. Everything that people have accused of being a scam, the majority of it has come and rebounded stronger. Wi-Fi has done a fantastic job. Compound is doing a fantastic job. MakerDAO is doing a fantastic job. But the TVL right now, the total value locked is at 14.19 billion. So this right here, think about this for a second. 14.19 billion is the total TVL. This is not something that institutions have come into yet and figured out how to play in. It's something that they find foreign and don't understand. That 14 billion, which is really close to that 15 billion right now that banks have when it comes to Bitcoin, makes me very happy. Because to see that our community has some sort of power, has some sort of ownership in this space still that is untainted by the institutions, I'm telling you what, it's a huge relief. Now, I know there has been some hacks. I know that there has been some problems. Everything has growing pains. This is where I want to talk to you about things like Union. This is the gem I was telling you about, okay? And I've talked to you guys about this, and I share this with you guys all the time on Twitter. But they are announcing their public sale. It's November 22nd. These guys right here, okay, are providing the solutions necessary to protect those in the DeFi space, to give you safety, to allow traders to sleep better at night, okay? Really sexy technology. Now, the pre-sale, you have to do a registration. The thing about these guys is they do everything super duper duper compliant, okay? There's a lot of compliance, so KYC is taken very, very seriously. If you're in one of these countries right down here, they're not wanting to do business with you, okay? But so, I mean, these guys take it very, very seriously. So KYC is something that is a really important thing to them, so you have to pre-register. I'll try to remember to put the link to this article in the video so that you guys can go and see if you can get pre-registered. But this is the site right here, purchase.unn.finance. So if you're interested, you go there. Now, I want to talk to you about the tokenomics about this thing. That's something a lot of people talk about, is the tokenomics and the token structure and the way things are done. There are no locks. The locks are voluntary. Those who voluntarily lock with Union are actually going to have access to their geyser. Their geyser is going to allow them to earn APY, okay, 20% APY for 3 months on their Union tokens. That's pretty freaking awesome. That's a hell of an incentive, especially for your seed and early private round investors that have a huge chunk of this. They are doing a really, really good job at protecting the integrity of the project and also still trying to make sure that those who help support the project and got it off the ground are going to make some money. In my opinion, I had time to talk to some of the guys from the team, and there are things that they are evolving this platform to is huge, okay? And I'm going to tell you, I can't say any more than what I know, but I can tell you is this. They see a huge problem right now when it comes to the DeFi space. They see a huge problem when it comes to keeping projects safe. They see a huge problem in the methods that projects are utilizing for security. They see the solutions as well. They have not announced any of this stuff. I'm just trying to tell you, these guys are taking this whole thing to a whole new level of keeping people safe. So, listen, that's all I have for today, okay? Go check out Union. Tell me what you guys think about Jay Clayton. I want to know if you guys have a difference of opinion as far as, his methods of regulating Bitcoin. I'm curious. Do you guys think he was protecting the little guy by trying to put more regulations on the big guy? Or do you think he was just anti-Bitcoin? All right, guys, so listen. That's all I got for today. Hope you guys enjoy your weekend. Peace out.